Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And this one is for the very beginner players, the players who are just past W, left mouse button shoot, and maybe a little like angling or kind of information. Right, the first things you learn how to aim and shoot, and then you start to delve into, once you can drive your tank around relatively decently, the strategic pieces of the game, the positioning, the repositioning, all that kind of thing. We're going to talk about initial positioning because that's the first thing you're going to want to learn or to hone, maybe, depending on how much experience and how good you are at the game, is looking at the matchmaker, the match, the map, the spawn points, your tiering, the tank you're in, the class you're in, know where the main places for that class to go are, and know where you need to go. Because sometimes, based on tiering, you need to go to a place that might not be the best for your class, or at least support that spot. But we're going to talk more of the gross muscle movements on this particular map. We have a two-tier battle, 8s and 7s, actually 3, sorry, which is important because your tier 8s are going to have to do some heavy lifting, right? We've got me and a super mutant, T32, a G-SOAR and an ELC even 90 against their 56 TP, Skoda T56, CC67, and M41D. When you analyze the other side, you have to make a few assumptions along the way. And sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, but you got to go with the worst case. If I look at that and I go worst case, I look at that and say, I'm going to be facing a 56 TP, a Skoda, very possibly the CC67, the IS2, maybe the CC56. I bet it's one of those two that come over to the heavy brawl, based on the type of tank they are. Right? They're assault TDs with a semi-turret. I'm probably going to see one of those two guys. And then there may be some cats and dogs. There's a couple other heavies. There's an ARL. There's a Churchill. They could show up. Anything past that is going to be even worse if they send a bunch of mediums. On our side, if you look at it, and go, well, okay, we need the Super Mutant, the T32, the BZ, the IS2S, maybe the 25-2, the M6 should all go here. And right off the bat, if you consider the correlation between those two lists, we're probably bumming out already in the heavy brawl. So it's going to be tough no matter what, more than likely. If, as the match progresses, they don't send those tanks here to the heavy brawl up in the north, great. Great. Maybe they are camping. Maybe they're going to be slowly dicking around out in the open down in the south. That gives you more time and more forces in this critical heavy brawl to win. But you have to go with the kind of the worst case. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get all those guys. I'm also hoping that I would get the G-SOAR 1008 just based on the firepower, but he's headed out to the field. Okay, that happens, as is the T25/2. One of my issues with that is these oftentimes are players who go, oh, I'm a TD. TDs go to the field. See where I'm talking about here? If you'll just go with the map and you kind of know where these things are, and you've got to learn that as a new player, that's very important, then yes, TDs tend to go south, heavies tend to go north, mediums are kind of peanut butter spread depending on if they're the tougher mediums often go north, the lighter ones often go south. But you got to pay attention to this whole match and the setup and go, ooh, you know what? I think I'm going to need to help the heavies up there. Well, that doesn't happen. As a matter of fact, the M6 doesn't even come this way. The M6 is headed that way. T32 is lagging. I'm not really sure where he's going. And look at this, folks. Is this going to work? An IS-2S and me, the BZ-58 isn't even going to come to this area. He's going to go futz around on the other side of the river. In general, folks, the north side of the river, just ignore it. If people want to go there, you do have to be cognizant of them shooting in the side from here. But it can be managed, and generally people over here are useless. And unless you really feed them shots, it doesn't matter. So as a general rule, going here over here is useless. Yeah, it would be a bummer if a light tank or a medium came through and killed our artillery. So maybe someone sitting over here would be fine in terms of just keep their heads down. But the BZ-58, one of the tier 7 heavies going there, and we've got two guys. Now, I'm seeing this happen. And I've got to take this position, right? Some people might say, Guido, we'll just stop right there in the corner and deal with it. I could have done that. But if they don't push in here, if they come with a really weak force, I might be able to beat them. Now, I've got to be ready to retreat from here, and sometimes you can get trapped. But it is a how do I want to put this? You've got a choice between two bad situations, right? You don't have a good choice, all right? Trying to think of a better way to say it, but I don't have a good choice. We've got the IS-2. See, and there he is. That's bad. The CC-56, I'm going to have a hard time pinning his turret. I don't know why our IS-2S pushed up. Let's talk about that for a second. If you do see a situation where you're light in the place that you're going to fight, there's no reason to get over aggressive. That can be a great position if you have a lot of support back here, but we don't. In fact, they took the middle, so now it's even worse. There's an M41 hanging out in the bunker over there. So this guy's just in big trouble. I don't have enough guns over here to support. T-32 is sort of thinking about it. BZ's over here. Su-100 is wandering around back here. Cromwell hasn't even moved or whatever. I don't know what he's doing back. The GSOR 1008 has completely gone into the... Oh my gosh. See what I'm saying, fellas? And now I'm seeing this develop and I'm thinking, well, this is a fine pickle. You know what I really want to do? I want to get out of here. Let me see if I can maybe get a cheeky shot on someone doing something stupid here. No, they're not doing anything stupid. Sure would be nice if they did. Maybe he'll poke out. Don't know. I'm looking back on, boy, nobody's coming in here. What can I get out? Let me try to get out of here. Shot. Oh, tried to sneak a shot into the side of the turret. Can't quite get it. And now I just got to go, dudes. I mean, I don't have a choice. I can't sit here. This IS-2S is about dead. They're just going to cross this road, come at me from a couple directions. And despite the T-32 sitting back here, they won't care. Now, the BZ will be in a position to shoot him in the side. But I got to get the heck out of here, folks. I'm like 32, get out of the way, dude. All right, let me just try to get some angles on this guy. Maybe he won't hurt me too badly. Hammer, don't hurt me. All right, there we go. Keep backing out. What's this guy doing? Don't know. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Okay. Went into the spot we needed to be in. They brought about all the things I was worried they were going to bring. What haven't we seen? They're all here, dudes. This is a mess. GSOR, thanks, man. That's fantastic. Great positioning. But despite all the whining and complaining, you got to deal with what you got. So the plan was to get up there, see if I could work with it. Can't. Got to get out of there. We back out. Thankfully, somehow we get out of that without any damage. So me and the T-32 are going to go hold down here and we'll work this. All right, we can do this, man. T-32, just stick with me, buddy. Let me take a look over here for someone trying to come around behind me. No. Uh-oh. Let's shoot this guy. Nope, we'll miss. Great. Great. I kind of liked Mr. T-32's move to that back corner. That's actually not bad. Unfortunately, there's a CC-67. Oh, geez Louise. See, and now we don't have a lot of options. So he's going to try to back out, but the CC-67's moving up. Another bounce off of a heavily armored tank. Didn't have a lot of time to aim. Got to be careful about poking out too far. Make him bounce. Oh, that worked. Okay, that'll work. There we go. He's going to want to aim nicely and get it. There he goes. So he aimed better. 56 TP's coming in. I'm tracked. Can't quite move. All right, bummer. Let's see if we can put one into his lower plate. Nope, we'll just shoot him. There we go. Back out of that. All right, T-32. Come on, buddy. Let's let's be more careful. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. So his positioning wasn't terrible. It's just his poking was extremely horrendously bad. So we'll just take the kill, and it's all over but the shouting, folks. I mean, I'm now completely cornered. The 58, I'm not sure what he's doing there. Maybe he'll get a shot or two. The CC-67's in great shape. The GSOR is guarding the Arty, I guess. You know? And sometimes that's just the way it is. Your team is going to do the things that your team does. But I show this as an example for those of you who are trying to learn where to go and things to think about. In this case right here, I needed the heavies up here with me. Now, I don't even know if we had the GSOR and the BZ and the T-25 with me if we were going to win this brawl. They just had better pushing tanks than we did. But you never know. If they got a little over-aggressive, we might have been able to work on them. But you also have to assume the reason they're pushing here is they know there's nobody here. They have a total overmatch. They're going to kill both of our Tier 8 heavies pretty quickly without a whole lot of damage to them, although we've done a little bit to them. And then it's just going to be all over but the shouting. So, you know, if you are in a tank like the GSOR 1008 and you're going to hang out in the back, well, why not be a little bit closer? I don't know. We're going to back out here. We're going to try to put a shot into this guy. There we go. We got something out of it. I mean, I know my back is to the CC67. All I have to... I'm just praying that maybe he's on a long reload or something. I don't know. I don't have a lot of good options. Yeah, oh great. Now he's shooting in the back. So let's try to get around the corner. That's not really going to work. Can I get one more shot in? There we go. One more shot. That'll do her. Very nice. Dead engine. Slow guy. And we get killed by the 56 TP. And just like that, it is a 7-2 game. So your initial positioning, guys... It's hugely, hugely important. And when you're new, that's the first thing you want to learn. Don't atrophy at that point. It's not the end-all, be-all. You know, I know a position. I go to this position, and then you fight the whole battle there and die. Sometimes when you're not good, that basically is the reality of it because you don't last any longer than that. You get to that position, you do your best, and you die. Understand, though, that there's follow-on ideas, follow-on positions, repositions, flexing, rotating, whatever the hell you want to call it. All those possibilities are there. But for the first big strategic thing you want to learn in this game, it's where to go and why to go there. So where to go in this case is the heavy brawl area. That's kind of an easy one, although new players are still learning some of that stuff. But realize that it can be adjusted and modified by the situation, the map. And that's the kind of the follow-on to the initial position is also knowing when to maybe not go to the class-specific area. You know, Wargaming puts the videos out and says heavies go here, mediums go here, TDs go here, lights go here, whatever. Okay, that's a great starting point. And yes, that's the first thing to learn, but the first expansion of the first thing to learn is when to ignore that and maybe take your tank somewhere else. Like Mr. G-SOAR, Mr. BZ-58, it would have been much better had they been in there with us. I will say about the BZ-58, he is kind of keeping the CC 67 honest to some extent. The guy can't just simply drive across there. That's what I mentioned earlier, why it might be okay to have a guy or two over there. But holy cow. Now we're losing down in the south wholesale as well, and this just ends up being a romp. 1400 I think is the highest on the team, as I recall. You'll see the cards in a minute for my damage there. Just trying to do the best I can with the situation I have. If I had known it was going to go this way, I might have been even further back. That may have enticed Tommy 53 there to be further back with me, and maybe even we slow them down a little bit more further back. But that's one of those things, it's an unknowable, right? It's an unknowable as of the time I got into this position, which is the place you need to be initially. But remember, I assessed and said, this is looking so bad, I may have to bail out of this early. I did. I got some damage. You move on. But again, I think it's a great example of some of those thought processes on initial positioning and slight modifications to initial positionings being the first kind of big strategic concept that new players have to learn. That's all I've got. If you got anything to add, throw that down there for everybody who's watching this and trying to learn how to play this game. That's all I've got for today. We will see you.